We were invited, the whole band, we must have been playing in New York, and we were invited to a party, an ELO party. This was in '76. Yeah. And we went there. It was in a restaurant club, I don't remember where, in New York, and we walked in, and we sat at this sort of very high-profile table, and I didn't know about high-profile tables then, because I'd never been high-profile. But they stuck us at the most lit table, and suddenly realized that the whole restaurant was like, or club, with press and everything, we were like in this sort of ring of people, and everyone was staring, and it was exciting, but at the same time it was a little scary. Yeah. And I looked, and Jeff Lynne was standing over by the door, talking with one person, and there's all these people standing around me. And then, like the guy, the wife of the bass player, Stanley Sheldon's wife, Judy said, "Do you realize that everyone in this entire building is looking at you, Peter?" I said, "Yeah, it's really weird." It was pretty much as I thought it would be, except it's a really heady experience, and there's so many things going on at once, and the craziness, and not being able, your privacy is getting a little smaller and smaller, that it becomes a little scary, and I didn't know about that. Until you experience it, you don't know. But in the end, it's just that, I've gone through that, and whoever it is, whatever level of success you attain, it's going to diminish and settle it at some level. So I knew that it wouldn't always be this crazy, but at that particular moment in time, it was crazy. I mean, George Harrison, can go shopping now. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't get chased after, but people will recognize him, and that's about where I'm at right now. I think it pushes you to your best. A little bit of tension or friction. And Steve was a very total character. I mean, he was all-encompassing. I mean, he was very full of himself outwardly, but a very insecure person inside. And we come from two completely different backgrounds. And just the combination of you'd never, if you met him one day and you met me the next day, you would never in a million years say these two could work together and write fantastic songs. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think, it's just that you'd never think that we would get along, But we did, and this time was very special to me because I was sort of like under his wing when we formed Humble Pie. I really, not that I don't look up to him now and what he did, but it was a real honor to work with him, and because I'd been such a big Small Faces fan. Yeah. And he taught me a hell of a lot. He really did. Humble Pie was a great apprenticeship for me. And then I went off, did my own thing, and I believe through working with him, used all that I gained from that and became a much better singer, much better player, and much better writer. And then we came back together again, and he said, after we'd been working together a couple of weeks, we'd written a couple of things, and he said, "I never believed it could be this much fun working with you again." And I said, "I'll remind you of that one day." And it was a very special moment, and we had like 6 weeks of bliss as far as the writing was concerned. And it's a real shame that we weren't able to continue it. Well, the one, I'd written a track with my friend John Regan, who's playing bass on the tour. And it was sort of Humble Pie-y, AC/DC-y, type of track. I wanted something really, a real good rocker, stagey type number. And I played it to Steve when I went to England this time last year, or just before. And by the time he came over to LA, he'd written the words to it, and then we sang it. He sang it, I split the vocal with him, and that one's called The Bigger They Come. And then the one that's sort of mid-tempo, sort of rock ballad type of deal, but not really. I don't know how you'd describe it. It's called I Won't Let You Down, which is me singing the verses, the two of us singing the choruses, and him singing the bridge. So it's really both. One is him singing the lead mainly, one is me singing the lead mainly, but we're both on it. You know. I Won't Let You Down at the moment, I think is going to be a single. I mean, that's what they... I think it's the most radio friendly as far as, you know, top 40 radio. On the other one, definitely, I think it'll be very heavily played, that one. It's already been released, The Bigger They Come, on the Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. There's, I don't know yet, there's another track that we did on a 4-track called Out of the Blue, which was the first one we wrote together. And that I was going to try and redo the backing underneath and keep the vocals, because just of the quality. But I don't know yet about that one. There's another one that will probably come out on if I do a band record or if I do a solo record, whatever, that he's singing on, that he didn't have anything to do with writing. And then there's one that we wrote together that he never managed to sing on, which is called Can't Believe It. So, which I sang. So there's all in all, there's 5 or 6. It's a mini box, however you want to call it, but it's just 2 CDs. It's 150 minutes of music, and it's going to start at Wind of Change, and it's going to go all the way through to these new 2 tracks we just talked about. It should come out just about when we finish this first club part of the tour, you know, and then we'll probably have a month off, and then we'll probably go out again. There's some things that are quite interesting. Maybe a co-headline thing in arenas or in the sheds, you know, which it's all the excitement. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, I suppose, but when you haven't been out for 5 years, and I don't have what I would call a new record, but we have this box coming out, you know, but a new record. It's very exciting to see the response to all the dates so far. I mean, nearly everyone that's the first few dates have come back for second dates, you know, but we can't do them because we're moving so quickly. You know, we've already booked throughout the America, so that's why we'll come back and hopefully do a co-headline thing. It was, you know, Dave's good at that, you know, the bizarre, you know, and he'll like me saying that too. I mean, he invented in today's this generation's chameleon. He is of entertainment, and if it weren't for David, I don't think Madonna would have been quite as big as she is, because I think she came to the concert. You know, I saw her there. I'm sure she's a huge Bowie fan, and you know, he never looks the same twice. Right. You know, looks more similar now. You mean the gold lame jacket then? Yes. He was always... Look, he was very artistic and, you know, loved good clothes and stuff then. So he was always, you know, in the band of Conrads, I think he dressed them and had special black lights so that when they wore their white shirts, you know, they looked weird, you know, and stuff. So he was into, I mean, that's a great asset, though, to have, you know. Show Me the Way was part of the batch that I wrote in Nassau in the Bahamas. Would have been, when did the Frampton record come out? 75. Mm-hmm. So I wrote that in 74. And it was, Show Me the Way was written in the morning, and I wrote, I'm circumventing your question here, I think, I wrote Baby I Love Your Way in the evening. So that was what we call in the business a bumper day. It was a good day's work. Yeah, and I wrote the words I wrote the first verse and chorus of both of them, and then I wanted to move on and write more stuff so that I knew where I was at the time. And then I'd go back, then I went back home and finished off the lyrics, you know. But, no, because I remember sitting there with Baby I Love Your Way as well, that Will to Power number. And I was sitting writing the lyrics, and the sun was going down, and I was going, shadows grow so long before me, you know, and they're moving across the page. That was it. That's what was happening. So I know it was like getting towards evening when I wrote that one. So yeah, it's a nice, what shall I say? It's a comfortable sound. Yeah, I did it in the was it Genie? We did the guitar duet, the guitar battle between me and Carlos. I can't remember which number it was now, but so we were just firing licks backwards and forwards, and you know, it was like game, set, and match when I played "Do You Feel." So it was like this. That was done at a that was written at a rehearsal for the tour I did after making Wind of Change. It was the formation of Frampton's Camel. And so I had the chorus, Do You Feel Like I Do, right, the night before, and then we jammed that day, the following day, and I wrote, and we taped the jam, and we just listened back to the jam, and everybody went, what's that bit that goes, in the solo you were doing, Pete, what's that? Do-do-dee-do-do-do. It was just a jam, you know, and then we just worked on it, and I said, well, we need a song to go with this. I said, I've got this bit, let's try this. It's a different sort of key, because the other bit was in whatever, and this is in D, so I said, let's try it. So we just spent all afternoon working on it, and that's what happened, a couple of hours work. Yeah, and you know that I'm in You that's not the original title. I'm in You was originally called I'm in Your Way. I'm in You really was the first home studio recording. So I had Jerry Shirley's Revox, borrowed, 2-track, at 7.5. I had old second-hand tape from Electric Lady that was used as echo tape or something. So it had been used lots of times. I had one little Sony mic, a little Ashley limiter, and a little Ashley EQ, outboard EQ. And I decided I was going to write a song and record it. I had a drum machine, so I put the drum machine on one side, one track, and then I played the piano along on the other side. And I sort of wrote it line music, da-da-da, I don't care, where it was really like music, lyric. Usually I write the music and then I write down the lyrics afterwards, or try to fit the lyrics in. But it really all came at the same time, that one. Yeah, usually I write the music first and then fit the words to it, but this sort of all came at the same time. And then I decided, well, I'll put the vocal on, so I went sound on sound. So I took we're getting technical here, so, right, good. I took the left-hand track, which was the track one, which was the keyboard, and bounced it over, lost the drum machine, and added the voice. And then I bounced it back again and added the double track part in the third verse. I think Destroying a Room once, this is when I was into destroying, I suppose, sure, for a while there. Everyone should do it, but I think I did it with the drummer of Gary Wright's band, Art Wood. Yeah, I forget, it was some motel somewhere, and it was all on one level, and it was one of those ones that's around the pool, and we pretty much decimated this room, unfortunately. And then we heard police coming, and I remember we hid and watched the police go into the room and go, oh my God, well, we got to find who did this. And then we were getting a little scared that we were going to end up in jail that night. They never found it. In the morning when we left, as we walked past the room, it was still the same, but there was somebody else had gone in afterwards and taken a toilet seat and hung it on the doorknob and put a sign across that said, "It's only rock and roll, but I like it."